Stop it.
Hey everyone, this is your girl L.Boogie and your boy
Mr. Norray.
coming to you today live with another one. We are talking about blessed, and this episode we're dedicating specifically to financial freedom. We're going to talk about how to shape, create, and define your financial life in order to live a blessed life and what that really means. So, in today's episode, we're going to talk about financial freedom. So, the first thing to start off with is let me give you some background. So for me, I started off before I even met my husband in a load of debt. Not only student loans, I had just debt by itself over maybe 200 something $1,000 worth of debt I used to have. And when I met my husband, I was so determined I didn't want to add or subtract from his life. I didn't want to subtract from his life, not add. But I wanted to. I didn't want to subtract from his life financially. So I did everything that I had to do. Rolled up my sleeve, worked so hard to provide a life. And I wish I stopped messing with the lights, please. To provide a life for us, for my boys, so that way we wouldn't be missing anything. Because it's the goal. My goal was to live or provide my boys with the life that I had growing up or better. And I lived a middle class life growing up, and thanks be to God, I was able to provide them with that plus more. So for this episode, I want to talk about financial freedom, how to build it, what it looks like, and what financially blessed means to you. Now, a lot of times people believe that financial freedom is more so about you have to make this amount of money, you have to have a mansion, you have to have this, and that's not what it's about. Erase all of that. You may read books that tell you you have to have this investment, you have to, snowball, avalanche, and a lot of times it becomes so confusing. So we're going to really dig into the meat and potatoes of what it's all about. So right now, we're going to talk about finances. So what's your idea of a financial goal? So you have to paint a picture in order to start this whole process, is to sit back and take a moment to yourself and just say, okay, what does financial success look like to me? So I'm going to ask you the question. What does financial success look like to you?
What does financial success look like to me? As I got older, it's definitely got better and different for me. First, it was all about the money, all about them dollar bills, y'all. The more money I could make, the more financially free I felt like I could be. But as time went on, I started seeing that financial freedom is about how much time that I can have. Now that I'm a married man, how much time I can have with my loved ones, with my family, and also take care of my household, plus have a little something on the side. And as time go on, I want it to grow. I want that something on the side to be more and more and more. So that's pretty much what financial freedom is to me.
And that's good. That's good that you say that. For me, financial freedom was always I have to have a house, I have to have the car, I have to have things. And that was in the beginning. Things were financial freedom to me. However, um, I learned really quickly that I wanted to, and actually the pandemic taught me this, that financial freedom is to me being able to not worry about bills, not worry about debt, not worry about anything, but live to a point where you're comfortable. So for me, how I got out of that 230 plus $1,000 debt was I had to see it. I have to build a roadmap. And that's what I recommend to everybody. You have to build a roadmap to where you want to be. So I wrote it down and made it plain, just like the Habakkuk book, the book of Habakkuk. Habakkuk book. The book of Habakkuk.
Oh, me, it's speaking in tongues.
Right. But I had to write it down to make it plain. So I wrote down what I wanted for my life. And as I started to grow, the vision grew. But most importantly, what I did is I started writing down the lists of debt that I had.
Mm.
And I didn't follow, I'm gonna be real and disclaim it. I've read the Dave Ramsey book, and I've read every financial book you can think of. I loved them, I enjoyed them, and I took bits and pieces of the knowledge, because there's no cookie cutter way to getting your finances right. There's no cookie cutter way. What works for me is not going to work for you or the next person around. There are some foundational things that can be learned. But if you write it down and are honest with yourself, you can honestly see where you stand financially. And what I did for me at the time, I wasn't making as much as I was making now. So I got a second job, or even a third job at times, and I did whatever I had to do plus more in order to make sure that I was able to pay off the debt. And I chiseled away, one thing at a time, chiseled away. And I did that snowball effect to a certain point, but then I also combined it with the avalanche type theory, where I was attacking debt from more than different angles, multiple angles. So instead of looking at the smallest bill and say, okay, I could pay that off and pay off 4 or 5 bills at a time, which by the time you get paid again, you're having it happening again. So what I decided to do is that I wanted to make sure that I was focusing all of my energy on making sure that my household bills and expenses was paid with my main job. Anything extra went to bills, and then I had a second job for a long time, just making sure that I did what I had to do to pay off that debt. And then slowly the debt started paying off, and then it started getting even faster to pay it off as the income and salary started to increase. And then once you get to the point where you have a clear roadmap and a picture of what you want, your perspective starts to change. The most important thing that you can do to get out of debt and not have it reoccur again, because that was a thing too that I experienced, especially in the beginning, before I got married. I experienced eviction, I experienced homelessness, I experienced all of that because I was never taught as a child or a teenager about finances, how to manage money, how to pay bills. So what I did after working those 2 jobs and busting my ass, excuse my language, to making sure that the bills was paid, I started making sure that I also took a perspective to say, hey, this is what you have to do as far as making sure that you invest, making sure that you have now other streams of income coming in. So you want to make sure that, one, you're focusing and not hiding. Like, you can't hide from bills and say, oh, it's going to go away. You have to stop spending. One thing about me, and anybody who knows me, I love nice things, but I don't like to spend money if I don't have to. Now, that's not to say that you have to be a penny pincher or anything of that nature. He was a hoarder when I first met him, an actual full-blown hoarder.
Hold on now.
Hoarder.
You ain't got to tell my business.
He was a straight hoarder.
Like, the reason why I was a collector, okay, I was not a hoarder, I was a collector. Because, I grew up, my mom was an accountant with the government. We really didn't want for anything, but she was truly cheap. And I asked for some Jordans one time. She took me into Walmart and got me the Shaquille O'Neals, and I had to get in there how I fit it in. But as time went on and I started making my own money, I started being a collector of great things, and I didn't want to throw them away because I didn't know when I was gonna get them again. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't really have all of the bills like Lisa did when when we came into this relationship. So I just kept collecting. But I remember when we first met, and I had over 200 pair of shoes, and I wish to God I would have known about Poshmark and Macari at that time, because Goodwill got my stuff, and then I went into a Goodwill and saw my stuff on sale, and it hurt my heart. So after that, I started finding ways to keep the money in the family, and let our money make money, and let our things that we have collected over the years make money for us, and I actually bring that to my wife and the way that we do things now. Every dollar counts.
Yeah, and that's important to realize. Like, a lot of times, you can live, in order to live a rich and full life, you have to live not just within your means, but to live below your means in a certain extent. And not to say that you can't have the finer things, because like I said, I love jewelry. That's my favorite thing. I could do without all of the name brand stuff from time to time, but I do like every occasionally trying to treat myself. However, I don't like to spend on unnecessary things. And this is one principle that I've learned in building financial success, financial freedom, is that get what you work hard for your money. So treat yourself sometimes, but don't go overboard. And then also purging is important. So for me, every single season, I take a look at my closet, and if I have not worn that this season, it's need to go. And not just donate it to charity. And that's great because I love charity, not saying don't donate. But I try my best to have yard sales. I resell on Poshmark, Facebook, Macari, and then on top of that, by November, December, if stuff still hasn't sold and I still have that, now I donate it and I use that donation as a write-off. And then that's one stream of income that you can have in addition to a regular job. And then on top of that, you want to start some type of business that's going to be automated and things of that nature. So for us, we have the shop in Array. I have a personal shop as well. I have a business as well for consulting. That I do on the side as well. So we have that income coming in because you want to be able to make money and have it deposited into your account while you're sleeping. So that's always important. So one thing I've learned in life is a part of being financially successful and financially free is that you also have to define, not only you have to shape it. So once you define it, once you have your list of items, and once you have your plan as to the income that's going to come in to start attacking those goals, a lot of times lists can be overwhelming to people, but you have to look at it and compartmentalize. I remember when I first met my husband, he was paying the minimum balances on things. And I was like, what in the fashizi? Okay.
I wanted to keep my money.
What in the Sam blazing and tar hootney who are you doing? Because I couldn't understand and fathom why you would pay, you could have the money in the bank sitting there, but he would only pay the $25 minimum. And it's like
that's what they asked for.
That's what they asked for, but you're going to pay so much more in the long run. So so you have to think of, I'm not a math person, but you have to think about it in sections. So when I attack bills or I attack finances, I look at it as in sections. So what can I do that's going to, what's the bill that takes the most money out of my, or the most money that I have to pay per month out of my flow, my cash flow, number one. Two, what's the easiest thing I could pop off like this? Just take it off. And then three, what's something that's going to reoccur? So if it's something that's going to reoccur, you want to always make sure that that's a reoccurring thing that you're paying on time. So, for example, don't pay your bills, reoccurring expenses like subscriptions and things of that nature, because I'm the queen of subscriptions, okay? Don't pay them with your cash. Put them on a credit card that's going to pay you back. So I use rewards credit cards, and I work from home. So for me, I cut off on gas. I don't have to worry about certain things, but I make sure, even in working from home, I budget. I allot what I need to within it. So, for example, I don't pay the minimum on things at all. I pay it off. I pay more than what they asked for, so that I divided that bill, say it's $3,000, $4,000, $10,000. I divide that bill into something that's going to be realistic to pay it off in 3 months, 2 months, whatever it is. For people who, the income is not like that and you can't pay that off that fast, that's totally fine. Right. But if you have a end date that you have in mind that you want to pay that off with, you can cut the interest by on the amount of money that you're paying, because banks and credit cards, they want you to use their money. They sure do, because they're going to make money off you using their money. So at the end of the day, what I like is I like to keep my coin. Okay? Coin needs to stay in that purse. So, or the wallet. But you have to make sure, in order to do that, you have to think about it. That's saying that you have to cut and don't go to Dunkin', because I'm going to go to Dunkin'. And I'm going to get my coffee. I'm going to go and spend money on my jewelry when I want some jewelry. But I'm not going to sit and say, you know what? That Gucci purse is $3,000, or that Michael Kors is this, and I'm going to spend that money for that. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Not going to ever happen. Because you know why? Michael Kors, Marc Jacobs, whoever those names are, love their outfits and everything to death, not knocking them. But you can rock your own, you can rock an array, and you can literally give back to Black-owned businesses, things of that nature. Put the money into your community, put the money back into your family. put the money back into something that's going to bring a return or a value on it. Because if I have, say, for example, a cousin that's doing something or someone else that's doing something, I would rather go to them first to see if they have what I need and invest in them, because investing in them helps benefit the community. It helps benefit us all. And that's ultimately what financial success is about. Now, one thing about financial success is also a part of, so you have paying bills, that's one part.
Right.
But you also have investing. Now, how do you feel about investing? Because I know you're pretty new to the investing field, but how do you feel about that?
I used to invest in myself by keeping the money in my pocket. You understand what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
not investing.
that was investing to me. I made 100, I keep 100, and the next time I make another 100, guess what I got? I got 200. But I had learned about investing recently, and it's cool. It's cool. I kind of dibbled and dabbled in it, and I thought that I was doing a good job by doing what you was talking about with the credit cards. I got me a credit card that gave me cash back, and I found out that was pennies on the dollar.
Right.
That is not the way to go. Let me tell you what my smart wife did. She has a card, a credit card that she pays off every month, but she pays everything with it. And because it's a points card, it gives her points every month. And now about maybe 4 or 5 months, about 4 or 5, let's just say 6 months. In about 6 months, she has accumulated over $300 of over so many points that she was able to get $300 worth of with Subway gift cards. She loved her damn Subway gift cards. Where now we're cutting meals on. That's a place that we like to eat. We like to eat Subway. They make very good food at the Subway that we go to down the street. And yeah, it saves us money. Yeah. I mean, we still eat what we want to eat, doing what we want to do. But at the end of the day, people get so tied up into these name brand places, and I spent $500 on a meal, and I bought a bottle, and I can buy bottles. I can buy a bottle for a whole lot of people. But I'm talking about on a regular basis. And at the end of the day, I got bottles at my house. I got liquor at my house. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't have to spend a lot of money to put food in my body that is going to come out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But also, too, another part of investing, just to go beyond that, is you want to get a high yield savings account. So, in addition to the credit cards that you use to pay your ongoing bills, that's going to reoccur, so your subscriptions and things of that nature, you want to get something that's going to also make money, have your money make money. So what I do is I have a checking account for bills that I use day to day, my direct deposits and everything go there, but I pay myself. And I put money into a high yield savings account, in which you earn, right now, I'll earn 5%. So I use Basque Bank for anybody who's interested in that. Online banks are the thing, because if you really are serious about saving, if you really want to get financial freedom, you need to have money that's not close, that you can just take it out whenever you want. You know what I'm saying? So I use an online bank that's in Texas, and it's 5% interest that I get annually on it, and I save money. So out of sight, out of mind, just keep it automatically going into that account, and it's building. And then after it gets to a certain amount, put it in a CD that's going to connect even more, or invest it into stocks. And what I do too is I use SoFi, and I also have a personal financial advisor too that I use as well to invest in insurance, and also invest in different stocks and things like that in the market. And you can start off very small. A lot of people have a misconception thinking like, okay, I have my retirement plan. Max that out. Max it out to what you can max it out to. Get that company match, but also go a step further and look into other investment tools that you can use to create wealth for yourself. And it's not something, of course, that you're going to get right away. So if you're young and you're listening in, you're not going to be able to say, okay, yeah, I put money in and I'm going to get good return in 5 years. Yeah, you're going to make money a little bit, especially if you go hard in your 401k or anything like that in stocks like I do. However, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Because at the end of the day, that stock that you invested in Coca-Cola or Walmart booming, and it's going to have its lows and it's going to have its highs, and you got to understand, ride that wave. Look at it as put in money and invest money that you don't mind losing on a day-to-day basis, meaning that when I first started investing, I started off with $25 because $25, you spend that on lunch. You don't really think about that. So for me, I said, instead of eating lunch, I'm a brown bag it. And I was doing this for years. And I said, I'm going to put $25 in this stock, $25 in that stock. And then it built up. And then from $25, I elevated to 50 and then 100. And it's like now you can have a portfolio that exists of stocks, of insurance, of multiple high yield savings accounts, and then regular checking accounts that actually give you returns on your dollar, things like that. And you have tools and resources that you can use. You don't have to depend on other people's money. You can have your money, make money, and then use the money that you do borrow from your credit card to help supply the life that you use on a day-to-day basis. Like you said, for me working from home, I'll take a walk to Subway and I'll get a coupon where you buy one sub, get one free using my gift card. And literally I can get a meal for him, which he eat his sandwich all at one time. I had cut mine. So it's 2 days worth.
Tell my business.
It's 2 days worth of food for me. So things like that can also cut. So another thing that you want to do as far as saving, and it's important for couples, you're not probably going to be on the same page when it comes to finances, because what financial success and financial peace looks like to me is going to be probably different for you or whoever else.
Let me tell you something. She gave me anxiety with her financial success because I've always been an easy breezy, beautiful, not cover girl, but kind of guy. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't really have to have my name on things. I don't have to own things. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. I'm okay with being okay. But when I met my wife, I don't know why, but it took a while for us to understand that if something is in my name, if we're married and it's successful, it is in our name. It's ours. You get what I'm saying? If something is in her name and I'm helping her with it, or we're doing this and we're doing that, it's in her, but it's ours. You get what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing. Go ahead, baby.
No, you're right. With the sense of that, but to a certain extent, I'm always going to need my independence. I'm always going to want my own. I'm always going that. It's still an our and togetherness thing, but the mindset that I have right now compared to the mindset that you have, like I look at it now, and it's like all I'm focused on is retirement. I want to chill and don't ever have to work again. If the lottery comes, hallelujah, won't it do it? I receive it. But honestly, my financial success plan looks like I want to have a house paid off before I'm retired.
You will.
Exactly. We got 10 more years left. Hallelujah, won't he do it?
And it's easy to do that because as long as you put a little bit of something more to the mortgage than what they're asking for, um, it cuts down so much time. I mean, you can actually call your mortgage company and ask them. I learned this over a couple days ago. Call them. I forgot the name of it, but I will look it up and I will put it in the comments later on what it is. But you can ask them for a certain piece of paper, it's a certain thing, and it tells you when the interest and how much interest that month is getting added on to your mortgage payment. And if you pay more than that interest, you're paying the interest of that month. So let's say your mortgage payment for easy math is $1,000, and let's say the interest of that is $600. Only $400 is going to your principal. But if you pay $1,100, now you're paying the $600. Now you're paying the $600 interest. Plus, you're paying if you're paying $600 more, you're paying the interest. And now, let's say if your mortgage is $1,000 and you pay $1,600, you're now paying the interest for that month, and the whole $1,000 of that mortgage, of that principal, of that payment is going to your principal. And also, when you pay it, make sure that put it into the principal as well.
Yeah, that's important.
Make sure to put it in the principal.
Sometimes, like the mortgage people, the longer that you can stay for the life of your mortgage loan, the more money that they make off of it.
Lord knows.
So you want to be able to pay that off. So we had originally a 30-year mortgage. We paying it off in less than what, uh, 10, 20 years. Less than 20 years we'll pay it off because we have 9 more to almost 10 more years left, and then our house is paid off.
Yeah.
So, and it's just simple because he pays the mortgage. I put extra onto the mortgage payment, and I say it goes straight to the principal every 2 weeks. And I break stuff down because, again, I told you I compartmentalize bills in my head. So instead of saying, okay, this is a big picture that you have to look at a month and getting overwhelmed by that money coming out, I say, okay, let me split it and do 2 payments. Bi-weekly payments of this, and it's going to go straight to the principal. And I put it in and I automate it so that way it's out of sight, out of mind. You want to automate your bills, especially if you're not good at paying bills. You want to automate those bills because if you automate it, it's out of sight and out of mind. All you have to do is have your money direct deposited into your account and it's done. Now, one thing I have to warn you though, is I started getting, when I was on this financial journey, I started getting a little overzealous because I was obsessed with my money making money. So I had 5 or 6 checking accounts and 8 or 9 savings accounts, and because I wanted to get every little penny. But then I thought about it, and I said, wait, sad about it. No, but then I thought about it and I said, you know what I'm gonna do, it makes no sense because I may be having a couple thousand in this bank, a couple hundred in this bank, or a couple thousand in that bank, and each bank is collecting 5% interest, or 4.8 or 4.5 or more interest. I refuse to go to any bank that's less than that. So each of those banks collect that, however, or they give me that percentage back of my money. But the difference is 5% of a couple thousand is different than 5% on a couple hundred. So if I combine all of those accounts together and have one high yield savings account and put it all in there, the amount of return that the bank has to pay me is way more. So you want to pay attention to that as well. Don't get carried away like me. And then with savings accounts, as far as checking accounts goes, I want my checking account to give me some money too. It may not be as much as my savings account, but my money's sitting there. And honestly, we're doing the banks a service by having a bank account with them. So they can give me some interest on my account. So I have checking accounts and I have with the bank, and I also make sure that I take advantage of those perks, and I call my bank and I ask them for different things. So you want to make sure that you're doing what you have to do and don't be scared to speak up. So the banks, and a lot of times these credit card companies, they act like you're doing you a service. No. You're not doing me a service. I'm doing you a service by having your card or having your bank account. So I call my credit cards every single year to get those lower interest rates. I call them every year, and also to make sure that I pay either ahead of time or on time, but always ahead of time. And then I tell them about how good of a customer I am to them and how much of a privilege it is to have me. So that way they up the amount of my availability. Because the reason why, even if I don't use it, because I really don't use credit cards in the course of the day besides paying my reoccurring bills, but just to have that amount available, you can do so much with it. So, and the phases of finance and financial freedom. So you have you're listing your debts, you're figuring out your income that you're going to use to tackle that debt and getting multiple streams of income to tackle that debt. You're now savings and investing that debt. The money that you have, that cash flow, to one, pay yourself, making sure that your money is making money while it's sitting there in your checking accounts and savings accounts. And then now you're to the point now where you're investing. So you're investing and you have an investment portfolio on the insurance policies, because that's important. You have an investment policy on, you have investments in your stocks and bonds. You have investments in multiple streams. But now the question that remains is, do you invest in real estate? Do you invest in other avenues or streams like RV parks or rental properties and things of that nature? It's no cookie cutter way to invest. I don't like having to deal with tenants because at the end of the day, anybody got time for that. Okay? Nobody got time for you messing up my stuff. Anybody got time for me dealing with people's attitudes, and I don't want to hear nobody's sympathy story. Okay? Team too much. Don't want to hear it. So I don't want to invest in properties that's going to give me a headache or any more gray hairs than this guy right here.
But you want a building, though.
I do want a building. Now, this is the reason why. My one dream that I'm going to get on my bucket list.
Apartment.
I want a whole apartment building.
But you don't want tenants.
This is what I'm saying to you. Because what I plan on doing is taking those apartment buildings, dividing them into condos, making them into condos, not just apartments that you rent. People buying them. So I want you to buy my condos. I don't want to rent to you. I want you to give me that money. The reason why I'm doing that is because, one, when you take a building and you change it into condos, like they do with multiple apartment buildings and like that, one, you're giving people a sense of ownership who couldn't really afford a 300 something thousand dollar house, a 200 something dollar house. You giving them ownership. They're also paying these HOA fees that's going to help to maintain the property and things of that nature. And then on top of that, this is how much I don't like dealing with people. I'm getting a property management company to deal with that shit because I don't want to do it. Oh, sorry, Mr. Kristen, but I'm getting so I'm getting someone to take care of that because I don't want to deal with the headaches of people, the back and forth and things of that nature. Just give me the money. Just keep on bringing that money in. That's all I can.
And on that note, the shirt.
Oh yeah. So forgot to tell you the shirt of today was Shop No Ray. This is the shirt of today. It's Patience Still Loading. And this is Philippians 1 and 6 coming from. So this is the flipping scripture shirt. And we have a super special today going on Shop No Ray. It's free shirt day. So we have actually a promotion that's going on right now. 1,000 shirts are being given away, one per person. So you can go on Shop No Ray. We have the website in the comments, and you can get your free shirt. Of course, you have to pay for shipping, but if you purchase a certain amount, the shipping, of course, you get an extra coupon for $5 off that shipping as well. So please go onto the site, support your girl, support your boy, and see what you like. We have a little bit of variety for everyone. I have my stoner t-shirts, which is under funny t-shirts, and I have flipping scriptures, which is one of my near and dear things. And then you have Mr. Shop No Ray himself. So again, check those out whenever you get a chance and tune in there. So getting back to the finances. So one thing too about finances that we want to talk about, and thank you so much for all the love, first of all, with the t-shirts and the product lines. I do appreciate that at all. This is something that is really something near and dear to our hearts. But with regards to financial success, being financially blessed also too, something that's super important and by far probably the most important thing. I don't know about everybody else, but I am obsessed with the show Hoarders. I watch Hoarders every night because I don't want to be that. And I don't like clutter, but I like organization. But one thing about that is that you have to realize that you have to stop spending. In order to live a financially rich and successful life, you have to also spend only on what you need and only what you can't live without. Like, that's what you really have to think about. Everything else, when you want to go buy that purse, you want to go buy that jacket, or I'm a sneakers person as well. When I want to go buy those pair of sneakers, I made a deal with myself. For every one purchase that I get, I have to get rid of at least two things. So, and that's not saying again, throw it away. I donate it, I sell it. So you're making money off of that. I don't do that to new stuff. So like if I got something new with tags, I'm not just going to give it away. I'm going to try to resell it to at least get my dollar value back that I spent it for. But there's so much things. If you take a look at what you have and what you need. And right now I'm on the journey personally, and I'm trying to get him to come along with that journey of being minimalist.
That ain't happening.
And living a minimal life.
That ain't happening. It's not happening at all. Listen, I ain't minimalized nothing.
No, but if you think about it, right, we have more than enough things that we need in life. And everybody in general has more than enough than you actually need. Think about your closet. How much clothes do you actually have that you don't even wear? Like I was obsessed at one point, and I still am, with sweaters, t-shirts, hoodies. Okay, I still am, but I'm purging slowly. So I was obsessed with t-shirts, sneakers, sweaters, hoodies, you name it, I had it. And it was to the point where my closets were overflowing, and I had to get, storage bags and stuff like that to do it. So then I said to myself, after watching like Hoarders, that I don't want to be that. So if living a financially blessed life to me means I'm able to chill in my backyard, do what I gotta do with regards to my medicine, even say it like that, my medicine, and everything that I want in life, just be peaceful, never having the phone even ring with the bill collector or anything of that nature, then I have to understand that it's a different walk that I have to be. Like I'm not going to waste things, and I'm not going to spend unnecessarily, because for what? What do I need or want? And at the end of the day, it's going to be times where, yeah, you're going to see something that you're out, but just have that mindset for every one thing that you get. You know, get back two, take away two.
And I try. I do try. But see, the problem with me is that I spent a lot of money on my things, and I don't want to give it away.
Right.
I know the shade. But so I'll sell it, but I'm not giving it away. Unless there's someone in need and they really do need it, I swear to God, I will give it to them. Not a problem. I've done it before. We'll do it again. But other than that, no.
Now, how do you feel about like donations and charity?
I told you in the beginning of this, I went into the freaking Salvation Army and I saw my shoes getting sold for $9.95. Okay, I know I paid more than $9.95 for the shoes. And I'm not selling. See, that hurt my heart. That hurt my heart to see somebody else profiting off of something that I did. That took me all the way back, way past where I was even at. My ancestors, if you understand what I mean. But that ain't happening to me no more. Now, I will set up my own tent in front of my own yard and sell my own shoes. And we did that. And this young lady sold over $300 in 4 hours selling $2 t-shirts. $2 t-shirts. We talking used t-shirts. They was clean and in good condition, but you put your funky arms in them t-shirts once or twice in your life.
I use secret.
Yeah, I'm telling on you. But that's amazing. That was amazing to me. I was spending money, she was making money. That was the day that I went to go get my tattoo, Norray. But I forgot where I was going.
That's what happens.
But no, I do have a question that I have been waiting to ask you on this. So I have a friend that told me that he puts all his monthly expenses on a credit card, right? To get the points, right? And then he pays the credit card off at the end of the month.
Right.
With the cash that he would have used to pay the bills, he put all the bills, the mortgage and everything. I don't know about the mortgage, but let's just say the bills, because he did say bills. All his bills, all his monthly bills on a credit card. Then he takes the cash that he collected from them to every bi-weekly paycheck and he pays it at the end of the month. He grabs his points. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
I mean, for me, it just depends because large numbers give me anxiety. So I don't want to put all of my bills on one credit card. I do put reoccurring bills, but I would rather pay my bills on cash because the way I look at it is that cash, like you say, is king. So
cash is king.
If I'm paying, if I'm paying certain bills and I'm paying it right away and I have the cash, why not use it? The credit cards, I get that you're going to get the points, and I do use that because you have these subscriptions that do add up. And a lot of times with people, they have so many different subscriptions that they don't even remember where it's coming from. Mm-hmm. So if you centralize that, to me, it's better to have the subscriptions or things that you can pay on one credit card. Mm-hmm. And then that way, every single month, that's what you have to contribute. And it's not a sticker shock when you have it. So, for example, with me, I put all of my household bills and stuff like that on a credit card, but I also, and it may come up to like less than $1,000, but I know that of that, I'm getting points for every single transaction that occurred. And with my points, I know that I can eat for free. I can go get a gift card I just happen to like Subway, but they have other gift cards that I can use. They even have Amazon gift cards that I can use. So I try to get as many gift cards as I can. I get points. I use coupons. I do whatever I have to do to cut that dollar, because at the end of the day, what people don't understand is that those retailers, they're not paying that much that they're charging you. So if they're not paying that much that they're charging me, then why I gotta pay that? That's my thought process. So I don't want to pay full price for nothing. I mean, every now and then, yeah, I do go out and I treat myself and things of that nature, and I'm not stingy at all with giving, but I want to do it when I want to do it. I don't want to have to rob Peter to pay Paul or any of that things like that. I want to make sure that I am living a financial life, and I pay attention closely. And I'm so sorry if I offend anybody on this call, but I pay attention to Caucasian people and what they do. And I listen to a lot of financial videos. I read a lot of financial books, and I read a lot of books on people who to see what they're doing, to see what works, see what doesn't work. And then that's what I learned, that you have to tweak this thing. You have to do what's going to make you better, but you also have to realize like what you don't like. So for me, I never liked bill collectors calling. So I make sure I do what I have to do above and beyond to make sure I never have a call on my phone that's from a bill collector. I don't like debt, and I don't like having to owe somebody money. So for me, I need to make sure that it's cool, but I also know my weaknesses. For me, I can't have cash in my hand. Because if you give me something in my hand that's cash and it's green, I'm going to spend it. Whereas if it's me swiping my card, I'm not going to swipe it because I don't want to spend that money. Like, I want to use my store card to get the rewards points so I can get a discount, then go home, pay that credit card off so I can know, like, okay, I got that low amount.
Right. Now, I wanna touch on something that she said. Paying attention to Caucasian people. Is that what you said? Caucasian people. There's nothing wrong with that. Because at the end of the day, our community, they don't want to share nothing with each other. They get good and they get gone. You understand what I'm saying? And that's wrong. That's always been wrong to me. It always will be wrong to me. But if you pay attention to them real carefully, how they set up their kids, how they set up their households. For example, when me and my wife decided to get this home, I can afford this whole thing with just my income. And I don't make half what she makes, but I can afford the whole thing, bills and all, with just my income. She ain't got to work. Now, you already know she can afford it. No, your ass gonna go work. You already know, with that being said, that she can afford it with her income. And that's how we did things. Guess what? That's how they do things too. That's why we have the opportunity to look at other things like investing and putting money away here and building the savings and looking for other properties and taking elaborate trips and things of that nature, is because, baby, I got it.
Yeah. And even with elaborate trips and stuff like that, like a lot of people don't understand. There's so many ways around things. Like we weren't always where we are right now. Like I told you before at the beginning of the podcast, like I was over 230 plus $1,000 in debt. I had been evicted from 2 apartments. I was homeless at one point before I met him. And it's like, it's nothing but God, but it's also, you got to be willing to do the work. You got to be willing to work. At one point, I had a great paying job, director level and everything, and I still had a second job at the call center doing dispatch, and I even worked at Burger King. Ain't no shame in my game, okay? Girl is a hustler, and I'm gonna get that money. And I did as what I had to do to pay off that debt. But even with that being said, I had a conversation. We were out with my father yesterday or the other day, and I had a conversation with him, and I told him, I said, I actually don't like spending money, and I live. Although I live good and I live comfortable and I enjoy life, I don't, I still live with the mentality and mindset and remembering that I was poor. You know what I'm saying? Because if you remember where you came from and keep that there, just plug it right there and don't forget, it's going to be right here with you and walk the whole time. Because a lot of times we have this I've arrived mentality, and I'm guilty of it too. Because when I first got to a certain level, income wise and title wise, I thought, oh, you can't tell me nothing.
I told her.
You can't tell me nothing.
I told her.
But then I realized, like, no, it's not that. You have to understand, like, God blesses you, one, to be a blessing. But being a blessing doesn't necessarily mean give. Because I used to just give. Okay,
Lord knows
they want this, here you go. They want that, okay, here you go, no problem. But I would rather teach you how to fish, teach you how to get out of that 230 something $1,000 debt, and how I did it. And it didn't take forever. Like I literally got out of it probably like in 4 years total. And I wasn't even making 6 figures at the time doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to want it and ask yourself, how bad do you want it? I want this more than I wanted air to breathe. I wanted to not have debt because it's a weight that's just on you. So you have to think about everything. And when you look at financial success and you look at your life, it's a whole picture. It's a whole picture. So for me, I'm a stocker. I stock up. Like if you ever look back here, you see all these protein shakes. Yes, you see all that wine right there. Yeah, I do that because
He was the one that took all the toilet paper when COVID.
no. No, that's not true because I started stocking up way before COVID even happened. Because I'm telling you right now, like people can say what they want, but God told me something was going down, and everybody thought I was crazy. I'm dead serious. I'm telling you, but I'm serious. I knew something was going to happen. I didn't know what was it because if you ever think about it, no, seriously, look at the movies that come out. Look at the movies that come out. Look at the TV shows that come out. All of the TV shows and the movies, if you think about pre-COVID, all of those were telling you something was going down. And that's the time when all the purges was coming out. And then when Trump won administration, I just was like, man, look. And it's like, and then having worked downtown when all of that stuff went down and seeing it unfold for myself, like I already knew something was going to happen. And I was stocking up on food. I was stocking up on everything you could think of. So when COVID actually hit and the pandemic hit and they was losing stuff, we had a whole house full of everything, everything you could think of. But the movies, honestly, you're right. They tell you certain things that's about to pop off. They may not tell you exactly word for word. It may not be exactly there because, of course, they got to make it dramatic and things of that nature. But it's true. And my thing is, I grew up on movies, okay? So I know to pay attention to signs and signals, and I listen very clearly when God tell me something, okay? When he tell you something and you had them dreams, you like, it's a deja vu. I woke up saying this. No, you ain't wake up. That is not your thought. God's telling you something in advance, so listen, okay? I believe it like that. You ain't got to tell me that fire hot and I'm going to touch it. I ain't going to, you just said hot. I believe you. I'm not touching it, okay? And it's like you have some people who go and touch it. That's you. I ain't doing that. You ain't got to tell me something hot to touch. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm good. You the type of person like they'll say, this is the prime example. Oh my God. Jonathan went on vacation, right? No, I'm telling you, I'm telling the business. So Ray went on vacation, right? So he goes on a business trip and everything like that. I'm like, okay, have fun, bye. Chilling, right? This Joker is so obsessed with things. He goes into the ocean. Okay, ocean. Goes into the ocean, drops his cell phone in the ocean, dives into the ocean after a cell phone. Now, mind you, I don't know what it's called.
I was on the jet ski.
Man. Okay, so this is a cell phone. This is a shark. Cell phone, shark. Cell phone, shark. Okay, so what you doing? Okay,
so
black people, what we doing?
So what happened was, I went on a business trip, and during this business trip, they rented us jet skis. So I'm like, I'm about to get my whole James Bond on. Anybody's movie people. Yeah. So I'm out there on the jet skis, and they told us to stay in this area. I didn't hear them. So I went way out there. So next thing you know, I got to give me a little selfie. You know what I'm saying? I'm living. So, I take the little jump with the cell phone, and I hit a wave. Boom. And the cell phone falls out of my hand. So then it goes into the water. And I dive into the water after it. So here go all of these two. I'm coming up out of the water with my cell phone. Yes, I did get my cell phone. And these two big black guys, they like jet skiing towards me, telling me, get on the jet ski, get on the jet ski, get on the jet ski. Finds out that it was a shark alert up the way a little bit where I was at, where I didn't supposed to be at. And I was in dark water is what they called it. And possibility there was a shock that caught me getting up off that jet ski. So, I almost died. At least I had a life insurance policy on me anyway. So, yeah.
No, okay. I do not. I do not.
Got that cell phone though.
Yeah, no.
But hold on, let me tell the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. The truth why I jumped in that water to get this cell phone. And any married man that is listening will understand what I am about to say. I was on this business trip by myself. My wife decided to stay in Maryland, right? So that's the only cell phone I have. I'm in Florida. And if she couldn't get in touch with me, it was going to be hell to pay when I got home. So I jumped my ass in that damn water and got that cell phone because I ain't want them. I don't want them problems. I don't want none of them problems. Listen,
See, and
listen.
that's his moral of the story, right? He didn't want those
It's the
problems.
truth.
My moral of the story is I'm glad I got an insurance policy, okay? Because I don't do dumb. Like I don't
I
do
was.
stupid. You diving in
I
shark
don't need
infested
them
water
problems.
for a cell phone.
I will
Nah,
die
I'm
for
good.
you. I will die for
I'm good.
you.
I got insurance on that cell phone. I would have went and got me another one.
I
It's
ain't gonna. I
okay.
ain't gonna do all that.
It's okay. I would get me a burner phone before I
So
throw it in the
listen.
ocean
So
with a shark.
one
Okay.
more thing. One more
No.
thing that I wanted to say to everyone, because we talking about finances and everything. One of the things that I've been doing since I was 18 years old, actually a Caucasian person put me onto it, is I have Navy Federal. And I have a lot of other banks, but Navy, I'm gonna just talk about Navy Federal because I know Navy. I've had Navy Federal since I was born. My mom got it for me when I was born. Um, so Navy, a lot of people don't know that you can call these credit card companies and these banks,
Yeah.
and you can ask for a yearly. Once a year, they will give you. You say I would like for my interest rate to be lowered and my what is it called? The interest rate to be lowered and my amount of money that I have, the amount of money that you offer me on the card to be increased. And they will give you a courtesy increase once a year. And a lot of people don't know how much that will benefit you in the long run because we're all going to have a certain point in time that we're going to need to use our credit card. Mm-hmm. And like myself, I've had a credit card since I was 18. So the credit that I had when I was 18 is not the same. My credit score is not the same as it is in my 30s. It's better now. So they are now giving me an interest rate on the credit score that I have now, which happens to be in the eights. So I can't do it anymore. If anybody can help me find a new credit card because I've got the lowest on Navy Federal, PenFed, and PNC. They offer for the cards that I have. I can't go no lower. But we all start high, and what I'm telling you is just give them a call, courtesy call, and say, hey, I would like a courtesy. I would like for you to check out my interest rate and lower my interest rate and up my amount. So I started with a $500 credit card, and now I have a couple $1,000 credit card on the same credit card. Just doing that.
But you don't want to get carried away and have too many credit cards.
Right.
Like one thing that I take advantage of is I do use store cards because they offer the best discounts on items or products. But with credit cards, I have maybe two credit cards that I really use that are bank credit cards, and then I have business credit cards. Because what you want to do, especially if you're a business owner, every single thing that you use in your home, whether it's electricity, it's your internet service, it's my even my subscriptions, I write it off at the end of the year because I work from home. I have multiple businesses that are remote or virtual, and I use those as write-offs. Write off everything because you don't want to give your money to the government. You're already giving your money to taxes anyway after you get paid. You're getting taxed on any products and stuff that you sell, and then you're going to turn around and give it away for free. No, get your business credit card, put all of your expenses on your business credit card, and then write everything off at the end of the year. Write your utilities, write a portion of your mortgage can even be written off because it's space technically that you're using. You want to be making sure that you're using exhausting every possibility of write-offs that you can, because that's the only way I don't have to owe all the time. Is I make sure that I use one credit card for all of my expenses, so that way at the end of the year I have a list of everything and I keep it organized. And that's the key, because you want to make sure that in addition to all these businesses that you have, the streams of income that you have, the debt that you're paying, you want to make sure that you're also writing everything down and keeping it organized in a way that taxes come. You don't want to go to your accountant and say, here's a box of receipts. We don't do that. That's old school. You want to make sure that you have an automated way of making sure that This is the list. When we go to our accountant loves us. It probably takes us less than an hour to go in and out to do our taxes. Because why? We have a summary page with all of our expenses broken down by category with the total amounts, and we have the all of the receipts and things either scanned or connected to that. So that way, and we keep it for a period of years because the IRS can come back and audit you. So we make sure that we have all of that stuff together, organized, and in a system. And then your credit card, especially if you use Capital One business account, Sparks, they have portfolios that you just print out at the end of the year and it's automatically categorized for you. So I love that. It's a time and a saver and a game changer when it comes to that. So if you want to know more, because we're approaching the hour, and we want to jump right back into the t-shirts. If you want to know more about finances, hit us up. I love helping people, and I don't charge for anything. So I love helping people learn about finances, getting out of debts, and things of that nature. So with regards to that aspect, if you want to know what I did to get out of debt and how to live a financially successful life, hit me up anytime you want on Instagram, Facebook, even YouTube channel. Or if you personally know me, then you have my cell phone. You can also hit me up via text, and I'll walk you through the process because it's a journey, but you also it's not impossible to do it. And I want to make sure that I invest in our people, our community, and making sure that we teach young people and spread the word that you can live a financially blessed life. But with young people, you have to understand that it's not going to all be a one cookie cutter size, one size fits all thing. And it's not going to be just, oh, I'm putting $20 in an account and saving it.